Hey everybody, Matt and Tom back with you. Welcome to the dark side of the moor. Today we're in Todmorden tracking down a few little places from history that no longer exist. However, I don't know too much about it. This is going to be a Tom-led video, so I am in your hands. Where are we heading?
We're going to head to the far extremities of Portsmouth.
Todmorden version. Not that far. So we are heading to the location of the legendary Bearnshaw Tower. But is the folklore and mythology associated with it completely true?
The tower was surrounded by a meadow full of flowers and trees, celandine, orchids and ragged robin, hawthorn, hazel, aspen, rowan and a wild rose tree that would hold out its little green hands decked with beautiful roses that the children would delight to gather. Through the meadow trickled a little stream named Tower Clough, where kingfishers and white-breasted dippers were a common sight. It had rocks where speckled sparrows, we call them shebsters, would play in the dappled sunlight, and boys would lie on their tummies, hands in the cool water, tickling trout. Yes, trout. There were trout at Tower Clough. And as in mythology, horsemen had to ford the stream to reach the tower.
How much further to go?
Not much.
Not much?
I'm just checking the map.
Excellent. Our first stop is
Somewhere. So beneath we have Bearnshaw Tower, or at least the site of, which was a small peel tower that once, according to mythology, was lived in by Lady Sybil. Now, Lady Sybil was tricked by William Townley of Hapton Tower, way over there, and cursed by Mother Helston, one of the Pendle Witches, which on a clear day you would be able to see perhaps over there in the yonder. But that's not really the root of today's story, and indeed you can find out more about her in another one of the videos here. But today we'd like to talk about the real Bearnshaw Tower. Now, as I say, it was a peel tower, and one of the stories is that there was a load of gold underneath it, perhaps stored there during the time of Oliver Cromwell and the English Civil War. Now, Cromwell had offed it up to Preston to go and see off Prince Rupert and his men. But in doing so, all the local nobility had shoved all of the gold under the vaults of Bearnshaw Tower. And this is where it was hidden. And apparently Cromwell got ear of it and was sending his men back. But luckily, John Crossley, because weren't they all called Crossley or Ratcliffe in those days, or Greenwood, he'd the son of the house, he'd heard that Cromwell was coming back to get this gold, all of the neighbours, all the family members, and he came back and he defended it, apparently. No one quite knows how the myth ends there. But that's one story of how gold came to be at Bearnshaw Tower. Another story, which perhaps has a little bit more in truth than fiction, is that in the 1700s, two Scottish men arrived at the tower with the hope of purchasing it, when they were robbed by local vagabonds, and their gold was taken, and the deeds of the tower were shoved again into the vaults. This caused a great commotion, and in sometime in the 1800s, when Reverence had recorded all these stories of gold being hidden in the cellar, the man who lived there, James Greenwood, or Old Jim of Greenads, he was forced to quit. He was a tenant, of course. He was forced to quit the house, and they began digging all these tunnels to try and find it. When they couldn't find any subterranean gold, or indeed papers, they left, and they let other people come back in, including his son, who had an aviary in the tower. He planted a Scotch fir in the tower, and it grew very, very, very tall, and all the birds were on it. All the rats came in and killed them. Eventually the tower came down, and various other houses in the valley were used to be built out of the stone, including the current Bearnshaw Tower farmhouse. And another one, Stubley, Height Top, apparently, Frostholme. They're the ones that I know of.
Yeah. Cool.
But beautiful Portsmouth Valley, eh? as you can see, all the land around the tower was decimated by the 1850s and 1840s, and throughout that century by building these quarries all around. Back in the 1840s, the main source of fuel around here was turf, not coal, because they didn't have any knowledge of coal. But by the latter half of that century, they'd built all these quarries and things to build the houses. Now, this caused great detriment to the stream itself, and all that wildlife, all the trouts that I've talked about, and hyacinths and things like that. They all disappeared overnight. Two things happened. One was the Great Storm of 1870, which we may cover another time, but that brought a huge amount of rock and shale down and pushed the whole landscape of the valley from side to side. And the other thing, of course, was coming up to this quarry up here, a lime cart spilt all of its lime into the stream at Tower Clough and decimated, and there was never a trout seen since. Of course, nature has reclaimed all of this, and I think that's rather brilliant. And yeah.
We think this is the location of where Bearnshaw Tower stood. So these are some of my favourite woodlands to walk through. Former Havoc Bike Park was here. But when you were talking about the trouts, is this the water that was?
We're all in Tower Clough. It must have been not as full of shale and sediment in those days.
There's not much water there at all, is there?
You can see that in 1870 there was a huge, and tons and tons and tons of it came down.
Wow.
Interestingly, when the tower was around, it was all surrounded by Scotch fir, which we sort of think of being quite new, but yeah, these are not that, I mean, they're obviously not old, but I mean, they're not that out of place for around Bearnshaw Tower. But,
so once full of trout, no more. So you have a map, and we think these areas were waterfalls, yeah?
list a few waterfalls.
Yeah.
I reckon that's it.
Wow. It's an amazing landscape. Cool. Wow. This is quite a hill. Whew.
Oh, Land Rover.
Oh, what?
The Defender.
Where? What are you seeing? Oh, wow. Yeah. This is quite a hill. But Burnshaw Farm, just somewhere there where the tower once was, and lots of flies. So of course, as Tom was saying, we know that the folklore story of the fall of the tower is because of treasure hunters coming to take the treasure, seek the treasure under the tower, and eventually so much was taken away it fell. But you're now saying
that's not true.
That's not actually true.
That's not true.
Wow.
It was taken away for building other property, and taken away, just fell away and used to renovate the farm.
Yeah, and other buildings.
And it also, Lady Sybil could not have owned it. It was at one time, we think, built by the De Lacy family, who may have used it as a sort of hunting lodge in between their manor at Clitheroe and Rochdale. Perhaps. Would you go that way? I guess you would. And maybe not. Anyway, they had it as a hunting lodge, and that's what we know. But Lady Sybil couldn't have been, because Mother Helston, Pendle Witch, much earlier than 1673. The tower was built 1673.
Right.
She didn't build it.
We are dispelling rumours and folklore.
And also Cromwell's army, Oliver's army, couldn't have got there unless it was Elvis Costello, 'cause, they weren't around.
Maybe.
So, you know, these two Scotch blokes, well, maybe.
So as Elvis Costello would say, Tom, every day we write the book, we're changing the story as we go.
But it is, yeah, it is good though that the folklore affected the actual house, and that it was in fact evacuated, and people started digging underneath it, and they went for ages trying to find these subterranean things.
So just on the hill here, there's a little ruin. Looks like that could have been a tower, but probably not. And for some reason, just in the little quarry there, it looks like there's an abandoned vehicle. So we'll have a look at the tower and then go and see what's inside that van there. Hopefully there's nobody in it.
Oh God.
Yes. So I wonder what this building was. A barn? Farm?
A little hole.
Is it? Oh yeah. Cute.
Smash.
Oh wow. Wow. Gosh. Oh, it's insane.
Car red.
No idea.
No.
Wow, so if anybody's lost their Jeep, it's here. It's been well smashed up. Well, left the radio. So we did say we were covering a few bits on this video. It is starting to rain, so we're just going to do one more. So we've looked at Bearnshaw Tower. Where are we heading next?
We're going to head into what used to be called Bearwise Woods, just above Bearwise Mill, also where the Eagles Crag is. And we're looking for a little cave. It used to be a grog shop. If we find it, Matthew's going to do a lovely performance of a poem. Well, we'll see.
Heard it here first. I can neither guarantee it will be lovely or... So here we are, with 6 million flies. Eagles Crag. I hope this rock doesn't give way now.
I think this has proved that Lady Sybil is indeed, without
fictional.
shadow of doubt, totally fictional.
Yeah, so the folklore for Lady Sybil. Let me tell you about that. So Lady Sybil used to apparently come and sit here on Eagles Crag and look across to Pendle Hill, which you can't see.
I can see it.
And she would dream about going and taking part in the revelries of the Pendle Witches, and the devil appeared, and she made a deal with the devil that she could become a witch if she became a familiar, like a shape changer, which I think she kept changing into a cat. But watch the video for the full story if you like. But at the end of it, she's supposed to be buried here, and at midnight on Halloween, a ghost is also said to be seen here as well. However, like Tom suggested, even if she did exist, she wasn't around at the time of the witches, and I cannot believe she came here. That was
all these flies.
That was an insane little wonder. But the crag is pretty spectacular. I'm really out of breath, sorry. So I'm having a little rest on top of the crag. Tom is somewhere down in those woods looking for the cave that was a pub. I wish him well. Oh, yeah. Hello.
Hello. I think I found the cave.
You found it?
Found Scallion Churn, but it's a little bit inaccessible.
All right.
I'm not quite sure how I'll get back after I've filmed it, so I think I'll just film it.
Yeah.
I'll send you the footage off.
So it's in those rocks there?
Yeah, I think it slipped, and it's just the shelf, but I think I've got good reason to believe it is the cave.
Wow. All right, good luck.
So, the place that we're looking for is a cave called Scallion Churn. Now, Scallion Churn was a little kell, a little cot, a small cave, which a shepherd had an illegal grog shop in. And I'll perform the poem for you in a second. And we know about it from these articles that it was probably used for serving Bearwise Mill, which is at the bottom down there, and shut in 1880 because of damage from the flood from 1870. And we also know that it was next to Eagles Crag, which I don't know how to point the camera, is there, that's Eagles Crag, and this is next to it. Now, unfortunately, there's no cave or bottle shop today. I think I found where it was. Bear with me. And so this is just a few verses from a poem all about Cornholme that tells about this beer house. Neath old Bearwise stood a little cot, known locally as the Kell, in which a Robert Law did live, and beer on the quiet did sell. They called them hush shops then, this was long years ago, but even now they've got such ways as drinkers now do know. Robert was a keeper of sheep, and had them quite a flock, grazing neath the towering firs that veiled each jutting rock. Inside a cave old Robin sat, tending his grazing flock. The cave was Scallion Churn by name, a neighbour of the noted Rock. Not exactly Shakespeare, but you get the picture. Anyway, this could be it.
Okay. Get our breath back. That was Eagles Crag. So you think you've spotted
Scallion Churn.
Scallion Churn, the old pub in a cave.
Pub in a cave.
Long gone. So yeah, we'll return soon to the Todmorden flood and tell you about that. There were some victims of the flood as well. We'll see if there's any kind of gravestones we can go and pay respects to. We'll do a bit more info on that. So hope you enjoyed this one. I suppose it's a little bit like a return to our Lady Sybil story from before, but same locations, different stories. What actually happened at Bearnshaw Tower, and then a search for Scallion Churn. Okay, take care. We will see you for the next video very soon. Bye for now.